Welcome to another Tech Tip Thursday, and I am here and I want to address a question that I got about how do we stop students from cheating on course activities in Edmentum. And this question came to me from a science teacher, so I'm going to go ahead and go into biology, which is the tested course. I'm sure that we want to make sure the students are learning the material in these course activities. So I'm going to go ahead and view the curriculum, and this is going to open. And the first step that I'm going to do in helping to ensure that my students don't cheat is I'm going to go to all of the activities and I'm going to convert those activities to Google Docs. So how I would go about doing this is I would go to course activity, and the course activity has several pages. So if I go ahead, I can go and flip through the pages, and you'll see that the actual place where they answer the questions is on page 7. So here's their actual task, and you do have the option to print this. And if you scroll down, you'll see that this is the answer key. Okay, so I can say to make these unanswered, but when you get to the short answers, where they actually have to type something, describe this process, it doesn't give me the option to not show this answer. But I'm going to take care of that when I bring it into my Google Doc. So I'm going to go ahead and press print. And up here, I'm going to make sure that I change this to save as PDF. I prefer that to Microsoft Print as PDF. They just turn out slightly different, and I like the save as PDF better. It automatically comes up with course activity using a microphone. Perfect. That is great naming convention. So if I go ahead and keep that, it will make it easy for me. Now I want to turn this into a Google Doc. This used to be hard. It used to be like a PDF was unbreakable. But now, once you load once you load a PDF to Google Drive, you can just open it with Google Docs and it'll pull all of the text out. So I'm going to go ahead to New, and I'm going to go to File Upload, and I'm just going to go to my docs and choose that course activity using a microphone and upload it. Notice it's a PDF, and it will just upload. Now, I've already uploaded it, so I'm not going to take the time to upload it now. But once it's uploaded, you can double click on Open It. And notice this is still the PDF, but I can come to Open With, and I can open it with Google Docs. Now, you do definitely have to go through and do some cleanup, including deleting the answers out of this. So one thing is every page is going to have this header of uh, this time and date, right? Which clearly is off because that is not the time and date right now. So I'm going to delete that. And it starts out looking pretty. It sometimes brings the pictures in. Sometimes it pulls out the text. I have done this several times, and it's done it different ways for this picture each time. Well, not each time, but two different ways. Sometimes it brings out the picture in, and sometimes it tries to do the text. Regardless, I do not like the way that picture looks. If you look back on the cell activity, you'll see that this is a much clearer picture. It did a bad job of printing that. So I'm going to go ahead and come here and copy this image and come back here and delete this and paste it. And now it's a nice crisp image because I just do not like that hard to read image, okay? And now I'm going to scroll down and see I have more of the stuff that it puts in when it prints that I can delete out. And then on page 2, I start getting to the questions. Now, one thing that really annoys me is that every time they have a question, above it they have the word question again. That seems a little odd to me when you're printing it out. So I'm going to go ahead here, and I actually want to highlight this question so it really stands out to students. And since this is multiple choice, let me grab this gobbledygook here, and this will make everything look a little better and be easier to read. There we go. Okay. Since this is multiple choice, I'm just going to go ahead and come over here and go to my bullets and make that A, B, C, or D. Now it says the correct answer from a drop-down menu. I'm just going to say select the correct answer from the choices because there's no longer a drop-down menu. So this is the kind of thing you're going to have to do when you go through the document, right? So I'm going to scroll down and, oh, I scrolled too far. You'll see that the choices are actually marked with these little circles that they put in as an image. And I'm going to come here and turn this into a list. And now this becomes a multiple choice question, which it was to begin with. It was just a pull down question instead of A, B, C, D, right? So we have our two questions, and then we go on to the next question, right? And all the way through, I'd be looking at these pictures. I'd be making sure that I delete the answer, right? Because for these fill in the blank ones, they give us the answer when we print it, right? So this right here is actually the answer to question number 3. So I would delete this, okay? And I would probably put a page break here so that this goes to the next page. Anyway, I'm going to stop with the document editing because I would do a bunch of stuff to clean this up, make it really clear to students. I might even come back through and change some of the formatting so that the questions are more obvious. And I would make a nice, clean Google Doc where students can easily type. So after this, I would then load that Google Doc into Google Classroom and make it a template so that students would, instead of doing the course activity right here in Edmentum and typing in here, they'd be doing it in the Google Doc. And that is so that I can use my Brisk extension, which lets me, I'm not signed in, sorry about that, which lets me play back what has been done on a document. So that is really, really, really cool, okay? So I can come here and I can go to inspect writing and it'll show me what happened in this. So I can see if a student has copied and pasted answers in. Now, when you do this on the student template, it's going to start with the template already set up. So you're not going to see all the work you did on the document. It's just going to be what the student did. And you also have the option to give feedback here. So you can do a lot of things from within Brisk, and putting in a Google Doc makes it really nice to pull all of that information out and makes it really easy to grade. Okay? Okay, I hope that this gives you some idea of how you could modify this. Now, how do we force the students to make sure that they're doing the course activities? So I'm going to go into the curriculum again, and this is what I would do. And this is a real simple technology-wise thing to do. Within curriculum settings, you have the option to lock assignments. So I would go in here and lock all the teacher graded assignments, okay? And that way, before they do that assignment, they have to come to me and get that unlocked. And since they're coming to me to get that unlocked, I then can say, oh, you're gonna do this assignment in Google Classroom. Let me make sure you know how to get there, get that loaded, show you how to do it. And then they don't get to go on until they've done that assignment. I hope that this gives you an idea of something that you could be working on right now to make sure that you can monitor and hold our students to the levels of academic integrity that we expect. And I hope you have a great week. Thanks.